back for a second time. Having some technical difficulties. So before I was getting ready to connect my energies to the cards and connect the first reading to my friend Vincent. I'm going to say hello to the cards first though. Okay. Okay. Alright. It's supposed to be turned over. Card that came up not long ago. Okay. There are a couple different messages coming through with this card. I'll show it to you first. Your status card for this reading is the gift. As I said, there are a couple messages coming through. The first impression and the first message that came through really strongly was balance. This figure in the card here, her hands are interconnected, and there's a symmetry here, the symmetry in the card that speaks to balance. So in that aspect, that's a positive element. Two, I'm getting that further message and intuition here of duality. This is a feminine figure, but she's wearing a masculine mask, which is unique. Two, though, I'm also drawn to the name of this card, which is the gift, and this is speaking to therein giving. There's a kind of odd, somber darkness to this card, however, though, because the impression and the feeling is coming through that this may be signifying that you're in a position where you're giving a little more than you should, or you're not taking as much time as you should for self-care. It's because it's sort of the feeling of like, you know, a lot of loose ends, or like being pulled, you know, stretched further than your ability to hold things together. So this may be speaking to a feeling that you have of, you know, you're in a position where you're giving your all and you're not getting a lot back in reciprocation. Not necessarily a bad status card, but some things to, you know, consider and ponder. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Your challenge card here speaks to the messages coming through with your status card. Your challenge card here is the blessing, and it is reversed. I'll turn it up so that you can see it. The message coming through with this card is telling me that there is an importance and a relevance to the fact that this card is reversed. Aside from the name of the card, which is the blessing, there's a strong connection between the two figures here in this card. You've got this one central figure that's illuminated, and you've got another, what might be considered a darker figure, but nevertheless they're interconnected. The illuminated figure is balancing on top of the other figure. And as I said about this card, this is speaking to that challenge of doing it all by yourself, of not reaching out, of not asking for help. And that's what the message that's coming through with this card is, simply that. It's about trying to manage everything on your own, not wanting to rely on anyone else, not wanting to feel like you're a burden, or not wanting to ask. Definitely there's that. That's coming through more loudly now, the not wanting to ask. This figure has some sort of entity or energy like swirling above her palm here in the picture, and there again, it being reversed, it's like there's a breach in that communication of asking. So definitely that's the challenge that's coming forward here through this card, is trying to maintain everything by yourself and not asking for help, not reaching out. Card's not quite ready yet. Okay. Hmm. Another card that has come up recently. Messages are coming through really fast this evening for whatever reason. Okay, your tool or resolution card here is the Lady of Unicorns. And it is yet again another reverse card. Your tool card speaks directly to what we talked about there with your status and your challenge card. The Lady of the Unicorns, the prominent figure there on a unicorn is that single horn. and it's speaking to singularity. So there again, with this being reversed, which is an important factor with this card, it is speaking loudly as if to say, do not try to stand alone. Also, it is speaking to balance and community. There are so many figures in the background of this card. There's just a mixture of other characters and entities. So yeah, definitely this is talking about reaching out, using community, using connections, the relationships that you have with others. I was also very strongly drawn to this sort of garland that this figure is wearing. She's got a wreath of flowers in her hair, and there are roses. And part of the intuitive message that came through there, again, these are coming really fast, speaks to that whole essence of the rose being a balance, because roses have thorns, so it's a careful tending. To enjoy the beauty of the rose, you have to be careful of the thorns. In a sense, what this is saying is, don't be solely the thorn, because there again, if you're trying to do everything on your own, it's almost as if you were projecting out this armor of saying, I've got to be in this space by myself. So yeah, the strong message here is community and reliance on other people, and not trying to be a sole figure in a situation, not trying to balance the world by yourself. Take a minute here. As I said, the energies and the messages are moving really fast. Card's not quite ready yet. Okay. Okay. There are a lot of complex messages coming through with your outcome card here as well. Go ahead and show it to you. Your outcome card is the shadow of the past. As I said, there are a lot of messages coming through here with this card. First and foremost, the intuitive message coming through is talking about the fact that this status and this challenge is something that has been going on for a long time, possibly years, in varying degrees. Also, there's this feeling and this message coming through that very likely this has impacted or complicated or caused some issues with relationships. Like deep personal close relationships, close family, relationships with a loved one. There's a lot of light and dark in this card, even though this is quote unquote the shadow of the past. The intuitive impression and feeling coming through here is not necessarily negative. In fact, for the most part in this card, the light shines through much more so than the dark. Also too, with this card, I'm drawn to this sort of wreath and ornamentation that this female figure has in her hair at the top of the card, and that speaks to me of spring growth, of moving forward in bounty. So I think this is a very positive card in the sense that it speaks to the possibility of communion, of coming together, and the bounty that can bring forth. All in all, I think this is a very positive card, and very informative for the rest of the reading. Card's not quite ready yet. Hmm. Wow. Very interesting personal card here. Very unique. It has not come up thus far in these readings until now. Wow. Okay. A very loud message coming through as well. As I always say, due to the unique nature, this last card in the reading is considered your personal card. I'm going to show it to the camera here in a moment. And the important thing here is for you to find meaning within it. There will be something in the image itself that speaks directly to you. Um, I as well am going to give my interpretation and impression and what comes through to me from the card. And this voice is very loud here with this card. I mean, it was immediate when I turned it over. So let me show it to you to start with. This is one of the unique cards in this deck that doesn't have a name. So it is a no-name card. Okay, and therein it was reversed when I turned it over, and the impression and the message that came through is speaking to the reverse nature of the card, and it is saying, point blank, don't try to wear so many hats. All of these, there are tons of figures in this card, and they all have these weird little hats going on, you know. And that was the message that came through very loudly, like way too many hats, trying to take on too many roles, trying to do too much. You know, unless you can make 80 billion copies of yourself, understand that as a human being, there's only so much that you can do within a day. So yeah, that message came very loud, like straight through, very fast. I'll show it to the camera again. As I always say, definitely take your time and look closely at the image. If you have trouble seeing it, let me know. I can send you a picture of the image. So yeah, all in all, I think very good reading. Definitely it spoke loudly to the problem, even beginning in the status card, which it doesn't always do. Sometimes your status card is just a status. It's just kind of like you hanging out in a place, you know. But a very fluid reading. And I really like this outcome card, particularly, like I said, with, you know, the flowers and the leaves and that growth potential. Two, there's a union. It is suggestive, as if to say, you know, there's potential here for healing, and a return to a level of closeness that possibly doesn't exist right now. So all in all, I think a very positive reading. As I always say, if you have further questions or concerns about your reading, by all means, send me a message via email or on Facebook or here, and let me know. And I'll be happy to look into that further. I'm going to go ahead and put these cards back in the deck and allow the deck a moment to dissipate some of that energy. As I said, the energy and the messages are coming through like a whirlwind for whatever reason today. Very strong, very fast. A lot of energy. I'm going to shuffle the cards here for a moment. Further dissipate some of that energy. I will go ahead and mention there is a possibility that the reading tomorrow will only be one reading. It may be two, I'm not sure, but I received a message when I wasn't online because I was really busy, but when I had these difficulties here with the computer and I went to check my mail when I got it straightened back out, I received some correspondence letting me know someone had requested a private reading, so that I'll have to do that private reading tomorrow. So it may only be one reading for the video tomorrow. Time will tell. We'll see. I would like to do two. I like to stay in the same format, so hopefully two, but one way or another. We'll see. Also, I will mention, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because, like I said, this has been a super busy day. But I spoke with Severine from Moonlight Ponderings on the phone, and she had mentioned that they celebrated their holiday yesterday. And there's a video posted on her channel about that. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'll link to it in the description of this video, so there again you can go and check that out and see what they did to celebrate. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. Take a moment here to further connect my energies to the cards and to connect this next reading with my friend Elizabeth. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Card that has come up a lot in different readings. Okay. Your status card here is the Lady of Leprechauns. I'm gonna go ahead and share the message and the intuition that came through with it first, and then I'll show it to the camera. The feeling and the message that came through with this card is sort of about contemplation. It's speaking to the fact that you are somewhere at a crossroads with a decision, and you're trying to unmask or see past illusions or things that don't matter, or something that's on the outside, to see into the heart of this. Also there too, oftentimes with this card, and it's definitely coming through now, there is this impression and this feeling of spirit and guide and guidance. Like spirits and energies are involved in this decision. Not necessarily that the decision is about magic or spirituality, but they're involved in trying to help you to make a positive decision. But right now, your status card, there's the decision, some type of decision going on. Didn't show it to the cam, sorry. Had a slow moment. Lady of the Leprechauns. Okay. card from the last reading here. Okay, your challenge card here is the gift. The intuitive message that came through here is kind of complex, and I do believe it may reflect, as I said, on your status card there, because the message that came through here with this challenge card is conflict, particularly inner conflict, like a conflict within the self. The messages that are coming through is almost like this desire for self-expression, in one direction, and there's something on the other side. There's, as I said, there's a cloudiness, there's a conflict and uncertainty. Definitely there's a strong feeling and intuition and message of being pulled in different directions, not knowing which direction to go in. Sort of being landlocked. I'm also getting that too, being frozen because of this indecision. And this is creating a melancholy, a sort of bland sadness. That's coming through very clearly via the card and the coloring of this card. So yeah, definitely challenges with duality and self-expression, and therein a decision. Okay, card's not ready yet. Okay. Okay. Alright, your tool or resolution card here is the Green Woman. It is a reversed card. I'll turn it up so that you can see it. The intuitive message that came through with this card when I turned it over spoke very loudly of community and connection. This figure in the card, her hair is adorned with what I'm assuming here are ivy leaves. And a part of this message is the fact that ivy runs in a vine. It's all together. It's a sort of huge organism that runs in all sorts of directions. So there again, it's speaking to connection. Also, there's a voice here that's talking about being grounded, being close to nature, and grounding your views. Part of this card being reversed is important. It's coming through now, and it's talking about the expression that this woman has on her face, which is she's sort of looking up above and over everyone, as if to say, like, I am above them and my view is further than theirs. So it's sort of a prideful arrogance here in this card, and what's coming through now is that that's the reason why this card is reversed. It's saying take a humble approach to this, connecting to others, and that will help you with this challenge of feeling pulled in different directions. I'm getting that intuitive message and impression here that someone in your community, someone in your line, of Ivy is going to have some answers. And this is saying, don't overlook them. Don't overlook that advice. Don't think that you always have all the answers, because oftentimes we don't, simply. Um, so yeah, a lot of messages here in this solution card, but all in all, a positive card. Okay. Card's not ready. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yet another complex card coming in here on this reading. Your outcome card is the Child, and it is another reverse card. I'll turn it up so that you can see it. Now there again, the intuitive message coming through is that the reversed element here of this card is important. This card can represent a lot of different things. However, in this reading, it's speaking to, in some ways, being distracted. It's speaking to that nature that we have as children, where any little cool thing, and we're just like, oh wow, and all this other stuff is going on that we're not aware of because of the sparkly, shiny thing. So this card, the intuitive message here with this outcome, is talking to and speaking to this notion of greater awareness. There, as I said before, being grounded, being able to move forward and make that choice that you're struggling over, because you're no longer distracted by things outside of yourself or your doubts or your mind. Particularly, the impression coming through to me here is no longer being distracted by those inner voices that are pulling you in different directions. So there's clarity in this card, which is really positive for an outcome, considering the challenge. I like that a lot. Also, there again, there's a contrast in this card. The Child here is very illuminated, and then you've got a lot of darkness in the background. The illumination, the love, and the light is really coming through this card now, speaking further to that potential outcome. So I think all in all, very positive outcome card. Okay, card's not quite ready. Okay. A card that has come up before, but not a lot lately. Okay. Wow. Okay. There are several messages coming through here with your personal card. I will show it to you first. Your personal card here is the maiden. And as I always say, forgive the glare and do take your time to look closely at the image. There will be something here in this image that speaks directly to you, and it may not be the message that I get. So as I said, there are several messages coming through with this card. Part of this is this figure in the card here, her eyes are closed and she's very sort of okay with herself. She's bathed in light to a degree. So therein, this is about being centered in the self, being self-assured, having faith in yourself to a degree. Also, there are a lot of other figures in this card. Another message that's coming through here with this card is that sense of community. This is the maiden, and she is attended by, you know, all sorts of helpers and servants and friends and family and people. She's surrounded by a lot of love and support. Definitely, as I said, the faith element in this card is coming through very loudly, having faith in the self, being able to close your eyes and feel certainty, you know, which, as I said, I think it speaks yet again to that challenge card of that duality and being pulled within in different directions. So yeah, I think this is a beautiful personal card. There's a lot of nice messages here. I'll show it to the camera a second time. And as I always say, if you have trouble seeing the image, let me know. I will send you a better quality image of it. So all in all, I think another positive reading. Like I said, definitely a strong sense of community here in this tool card, and you know, also speaking to avoiding being prideful to the extent that you refuse, you know, someone else's view or their help or assistance, because community is coming through very loudly here. So yeah, I think that's a pretty nice reading. As I said, the hour is growing late, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and bring this video to an end. I will try to remember to post that video I was telling you about by Moonlight Ponderings, so that'll be in the description. Definitely go and check that out, give them a like and a thumbs up. As I always say, I hope all of you are well. I send you love and light, compassion, good fortune, and harmony. If all goes well, I will speak with you soon.